What if reality constantly communicates with you through a secret language you've been trained to ignore? The universe speaks in whispers, weaving patterns of meaning through seemingly random events. These patterns, synchronicities, appear as remarkable coincidences that defy logical explanation yet carry profound personal significance. Perhaps you've thought of someone moments before they called. Maybe you've repeatedly encountered the same number sequence, 11 and 11, 222, 333, appearing on clocks, receipts, and license plates. Or you've opened a book to find the exact wisdom you sought on that precise page. These moments leave you wondering, could this be more than chance? The veil between coincidence and cosmic message remains thin, yet most people dismiss these experiences as random chance, statistical inevitability, or tricks of an overactive imagination. This dismissal stems from deep conditioning, a systematic disconnection from our intuitive understanding of reality's true nature. From childhood, society trains us to ignore the subtle language of synchronicity. Your natural ability to perceive patterns and energy flows received labels like just imagination or magical thinking. Educational systems prioritized logical reasoning while suppressing intuitive knowing. Science reduced meaningful coincidences to cognitive biases, confirmation bias, pattern recognition gone awry, selective memory. This conditioning serves a purpose, disconnecting you from your inherent power to co-create with the universe. Consider how differently indigenous cultures view reality. Many ancient traditions recognized synchronicities as sacred communications, messages from ancestors, spirit guides, or the divine intelligence permeating all existence. Carl Jung, who coined the term synchronicity in the 20th century, defined these experiences as meaningful coincidences, revealing an underlying order to reality beyond cause and effect. Jung proposed that synchronicities emerge when your conscious mind aligns with the collective unconscious, that vast reservoir of shared human experience transcending individual awareness. These moments pierce the illusion of separation, revealing glimpses of a unified field where everything connects through invisible threads of meaning. The modern mind struggles with synchronicity because it challenges our fundamental assumptions about reality. We've inherited a mechanistic worldview portraying the universe as a complex machine operating through random chance and physical laws alone. This perspective leaves no room for meaning, purpose, or intelligence beyond human consciousness. Yet quantum physics has demolished this simplistic model, revealing reality as far stranger than our logical minds comprehend. At the quantum level, particles exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed. The act of observation itself shapes reality. Experiments consistently demonstrate that consciousness influences physical matter. The observer affects the observed. This quantum understanding aligns perfectly with ancient wisdom traditions. Both suggest reality functions more like a vast, responsive field of consciousness than a deterministic machine. Your thoughts, emotions, and intentions emit energetic frequencies that ripple through this field, attracting matching experiences back to you. Synchronicities represent moments when this hidden mechanism becomes briefly visible, when the curtain parts to reveal the machinery behind manifestation. They show you're never truly separate from the world around you but engaged in a continuous dance of co-creation with the universe itself. Your reticular activating system, RAS, the brain's filtering mechanism, plays a crucial role in perceiving synchronicities. This neural network determines which information from millions of sensory inputs reaches your conscious awareness. Have you noticed how after buying a new car, you suddenly see that model everywhere? Your RAS prioritizes information relevant to your current focus and filters out everything else. When you hold an intention or question in mind, Your RAS naturally highlights potential answers in your environment. This biological mechanism works alongside metaphysical principles, creating a powerful system for manifesting guidance through synchronicity. Synchronicities often increase during major life transitions, periods of uncertainty, growth, or transformation. They appear at crossroads, offering guidance when logical planning reaches its limits. During these threshold experiences, the rational mind cannot calculate all variables or predict outcomes with certainty. Synchronicities provide an alternative navigation system, intuitive breadcrumbs leading you toward alignment with your highest path. They often appear when you face important decisions, confirming directions that align with your soul's purpose or warning against choices that don't serve your evolution. These cosmic winks reassure you that despite apparent chaos, an intelligent order supports your journey. Recognizing synchronicities requires developing a particular kind of attention, simultaneously relaxed and alert, open to meaning without forcing interpretation. This receptive awareness differs dramatically from the analytical, goal-oriented focus dominating modern consciousness. It requires slowing down, becoming present, and cultivating curiosity about the subtle patterns weaving through your experience. The universe speaks through symbols, metaphors, and resonance, rather than literal statements. Learning this symbolic language enables you to receive guidance that transcends the limitations of rational thought, accessing wisdom from deeper dimensions of consciousness. The frequency of synchronistic experiences varies dramatically between individuals. Some people navigate life guided by an almost continuous stream of meaningful coincidences, while others rarely notice such patterns. This difference stems primarily from awareness, belief, and energetic alignment rather than the actual occurrence of synchronicities themselves. The universe broadcasts its messages universally, but reception depends on having your internal antenna properly tuned. Those trapped in rigid logical frameworks, skepticism, or materialistic worldviews often filter out synchronistic events before they reach conscious awareness. Their perceptual filters eliminate possibilities that don't fit their existing model of reality. Conversely, individuals who maintain open, receptive states of consciousness experience synchronicities abundantly. They've cultivated trust in their intuitive impressions and developed comfort with ambiguity and mystery. Their worldview accommodates phenomena beyond rational explanation, creating space for synchronicity to flourish. These people understand that logic serves as one valuable tool among many, rather than the sole arbiter of truth. They recognize that reality contains dimensions accessible through direct experience, yet resistant to analytical dissection. This receptive stance toward life's mysteries creates fertile ground for synchronistic experiences to take root and multiply. Your vibrational state profoundly influences your capacity to attract and perceive synchronicities. Emotions generate electromagnetic fields that radiate from your body, affecting your energetic signature. Fear, anger, resentment, and anxiety create dense, discordant frequencies that block synchronistic flow. These lower vibrational states narrow perception, activating survival mechanisms that focus attention on potential threats rather than subtle patterns of meaning. Conversely, gratitude, wonder, joy, and compassion generate coherent, harmonious frequencies that enhance receptivity to synchronistic guidance. These elevated emotional states expand awareness beyond personal concerns, opening perception to the broader patterns connecting all things. Meditation practices dramatically increase synchronistic experiences by quieting mental chatter and creating space for subtler perceptions. The analytical mind constantly generates commentary, judgment, and categorization, a stream of thought that drowns out intuitive knowing. Regular meditation trains attention to rest in present-moment awareness rather than conceptual thinking. This perceptual shift allows synchronicities previously filtered out by the busy mind to enter conscious awareness. Many practitioners report increased, meaningful coincidences after establishing consistent meditation practices. Their enhanced receptivity stems from reduced mental noise combined with heightened sensitivity to subtle impressions arising from deeper levels of consciousness. Synchronicities often cluster around specific themes or questions currently active in your awareness. When you genuinely seek guidance about a particular life direction, relationship challenge, or spiritual inquiry, the universe responds with relevant synchronistic patterns. This responsiveness demonstrates that consciousness extends beyond individual minds, participating in a larger field of intelligence that registers your questions and orchestrates meaningful responses. Your sincere questions create energetic ripples that attract corresponding patterns of information. The clearer and more heartfelt your inquiry, the more precise and abundant the synchronistic responses typically become. Keeping a synchronicity journal accelerates your ability to recognize patterns and extract meaningful guidance from seemingly random events. This practice trains your perception to notice subtle connections while creating a record that reveals larger patterns emerging over time. Many people discover that synchronicities often arrive in sequences, clusters of related signs building toward comprehensive guidance about important life questions. Without documentation, these broader patterns remain invisible, their cumulative wisdom lost. A journal transforms isolated coincidences into a coherent language of guidance, revealing the intelligent design underlying apparently random experiences. Synchronicities frequently incorporate personal symbols carrying unique significance based on your individual history and associations. The universe customizes its communications using symbolic elements that resonate specifically with your consciousness. A particular animal, number, phrase, or image might carry profound meaning for you while appearing ordinary to others. This personalization explains why synchronistic guidance often arrives through channels holding emotional or symbolic significance in your life. The universe speaks through symbols that penetrate your particular psychological filters, using a custom language constructed from elements of your personal experience. Dreams provide especially fertile ground for synchronistic phenomena, creating bridges between your conscious questions and deeper sources of wisdom. Many people report dreaming about situations, conversations, or symbols that subsequently manifest in waking life. These dream precognitions demonstrate consciousness transcending conventional boundaries of time and space. Dreams bypass the logical filters dominating waking awareness, allowing synchronistic information to flow more freely. Paying attention to dream content, particularly recurring symbols or emotionally charged images, often reveals synchronistic connections with waking events. These connections suggest consciousness operates beyond the physical brain, accessing non-local information through channels that transcend ordinary sensory perception. Time-based synchronicities reveal meaningful patterns in temporal relationships between events. Perhaps you think of someone seconds before they contact you, or significant events cluster around particular dates or anniversaries. These temporal alignments suggest consciousness interacts with time in ways that transcend linear causality. Many spiritual traditions teach that time flows differently at higher dimensional levels, that from expanded awareness, past, present, and future exist simultaneously. Time-based synchronicities offer glimpses of this non-linear perspective, showing how events separated in chronological time remain connected through meaningful resonance. They invite us to consider time as a malleable medium shaped by consciousness rather than an absolute framework existing independently of perception. Developing synchronistic awareness requires cultivating specific qualities of attention and interpretation. First comes recognition, learning to notice meaningful coincidences rather than dismissing them as random events. This initial step involves suspending automatic skepticism long enough to consider potential significance. Next comes discernment, distinguishing genuine synchronicities from projection or wishful thinking. True synchronicities typically generate a distinctive feeling, an intuitive recognition accompanied by heightened energy or emotional resonance. Finally comes interpretation, extracting meaningful guidance from synchronistic events without forcing overly literal or rigid meanings onto inherently fluid symbolic communications. This interpretive balance requires both intuitive openness and grounded discernment. The practical application of synchronicity transforms it from fascinating phenomenon into powerful navigational tool. When facing important decisions or seeking direction, you can deliberately invite synchronistic guidance through clear intention. Simply formulating a precise question while expressing openness to receiving answers through unexpected channels often triggers a cascade of relevant synchronicities. This intentional approach differs from passive observation, actively engaging the synchronistic mechanism as a practical resource for life navigation. Many people report that once they begin consciously working with synchronicity, the frequency and clarity of meaningful coincidences dramatically increases, creating an ongoing dialogue with universal intelligence. The language of synchronicity communicates through various forms, each carrying distinctive patterns of meaning. Numerical synchronicities represent perhaps the most commonly reported type. Sequences like 111, 222, 333, or 1234 appearing repeatedly across different contexts. These numerical patterns often signal energetic alignments, spiritual awakening, or confirmation you're moving in harmony with higher guidance. Each number sequence carries specific vibrational qualities and symbolic associations. For example, 111 typically indicates manifestation potential, thoughts rapidly crystallizing into physical reality. The sequence 444 often signals angelic presence or protection during challenging transitions. Learning to recognize these numerical codes provides an accessible entry point into the broader language of synchronicity. Animal encounters frequently serve as powerful synchronistic messengers. When a particular creature appears repeatedly or behaves in unusual ways that capture your attention, this often carries significant meaning. Indigenous traditions worldwide recognize animals as spirit messengers, each species embodying specific qualities and wisdom teachings. The hawk soaring overhead might bring perspective on a situation requiring broader vision. The fox crossing your path could signal the need for adaptability and cunning in current circumstances. The butterfly emerging precisely when you contemplate personal transformation reinforces your growth process. These animal synchronicities connect human consciousness with the broader intelligence of nature, reminding us we participate in an unsouled, communicative world rather than a collection of separate objects. Song lyrics presenting exactly the guidance you need constitute another common synchronistic channel. Perhaps you're wrestling with a difficult decision when a song plays containing lyrics that speak directly to your situation with uncanny precision. These musical synchronicities demonstrate how the universe can communicate through cultural artifacts, using human creativity as a conduit for personalized guidance. Similar patterns occur through books falling open to relevant passages, overheard conversations containing perfect advice for your unspoken questions, or movies presenting scenarios mirroring your current life challenges. These cultural synchronicities reveal how collective creative expressions can serve as vehicles for individualized messages from the universal intelligence. Meeting precisely the right person at the perfect moment exemplifies synchronicity's power to orchestrate meaningful connections transcending probability. Perhaps you encounter someone possessing exactly the information, opportunity, or perspective you currently need. These chance meetings often occur through unlikely chains of circumstances that seem deliberately arranged. Such encounters suggest an organizing intelligence operating behind apparent randomness, bringing together people whose connection serves mutual growth or creative purpose. These relational synchronicities demonstrate how an invisible hand sometimes arranges the human chessboard, creating intersections that catalyze evolution for all involved. Physical objects sometimes participate in synchronistic communications, appearing or disappearing in ways that defy logical explanation while carrying significant meaning. Perhaps you've searched repeatedly for an important item without success, only to find it later in a previously examined location. Or an object with personal significance mysteriously appears precisely when its symbolic meaning becomes relevant to your journey. These object-based synchronicities suggest reality possesses more fluid properties than our conventional understanding allows, that consciousness somehow influences the physical world in ways science has yet to fully explain. They hint at the participatory nature of reality, where mind and matter engage in continuous creative dialogue. Synchronicities reveal a universe fundamentally different from the mechanistic model dominating Western thought for centuries. They demonstrate reality functioning more like a vast, responsive dream than an objective machine operating independently of consciousness. This perspective aligns with quantum physics findings, showing that at subatomic levels, particles exist as probability waves until observed. The act of observation itself partially creating what manifests. Synchronicities represent moments when this participatory relationship between consciousness and reality becomes briefly visible in everyday experience. They pull back the curtain on manifestation processes, usually operating below conscious awareness, revealing glimpses of how intention shapes experience through resonance rather than linear causality. Ancient wisdom traditions worldwide recognized this responsive quality of reality long before quantum physics confirmed it experimentally. Egyptian mystery schools taught that thoughts create reality and trained initiates in precise visualization practices. Buddhist teachings describe reality as mind-created and emphasize the power of directed consciousness. Indigenous shamanic traditions worldwide work with the principle that invisible realms respond to focused intention, allowing practitioners to influence weather patterns, healing outcomes, and community events. These diverse traditions share a fundamental understanding. Consciousness exists as a primary creative force, rather than a secondary product of physical processes. Synchronicities provide experiential evidence supporting this perspective. The law of vibration, a principle recognized across numerous spiritual traditions, helps explain synchronicity's underlying mechanism. This universal law states that everything in existence, from physical objects to thoughts and emotions, continuously emits specific vibrational frequencies, attracts across these vibrational fields, creating resonance between energetically similar elements. Your dominant thoughts, feelings, and beliefs generate your personal vibrational signature, attracting experiences matching this energetic pattern. Synchronicities represent moments when this vibrational matching process becomes temporarily visible, when the curtain between cause and effect parts, revealing how inner states manifest as outer experience through resonance rather than linear causality. Skeptics argue that synchronicities result from cognitive biases, particularly confirmation bias, which leads people to notice evidence supporting existing beliefs while overlooking contradictory information. This perspective contains partial truth. Human perception indeed filters reality through expectation. However, this explanation fails to account for synchronicities involving highly improbable events, information impossible to know through normal channels, or physical effects defying current scientific understanding. The most compelling synchronistic experiences transcend psychological explanation, suggesting genuine interaction between consciousness and an intelligent universe. Rather than dismissing all synchronicities as cognitive errors, a balanced approach recognizes both psychological factors and genuine mystery operating simultaneously. The practical value of synchronicity extends beyond philosophical interest, offering tangible guidance for navigating life's complexities. When logical analysis reaches its limits, when available information proves insufficient for clear decision-making, synchronistic guidance provides an alternative navigation system. This approach proves especially valuable during major life transitions, relationship decisions, or career changes where outcomes remain unpredictable through rational calculation alone. By remaining alert to meaningful coincidences while holding questions about important life directions, you access wisdom transcending intellectual understanding. This synchronistic guidance often leads to opportunities, connections, and pathways invisible to purely logical planning. Developing synchronistic awareness requires balancing opposite qualities, remaining simultaneously open to meaning while avoiding the trap of seeing significance in everything. Overeager interpretation leads to superstition, where random events receive excessive meaning, creating confusion rather than clarity. Conversely, rigid skepticism blocks genuine guidance by dismissing all coincidences as meaningless. The middle path involves cultivating discernment, developing sensitivity to the distinctive energetic signature accompanying authentic synchronicities. True synchronistic guidance typically generates a particular feeling, an intuitive recognition accompanied by heightened energy, emotional resonance, or a sense of expanded awareness. Learning to recognize this signature helps distinguish genuine guidance from projection or wishful thinking. Synchronicities often appear most powerfully during spiritual awakening processes, periods when consciousness undergoes rapid expansion beyond previous limitations. As awareness shifts from ego-centered perception toward broader spiritual identity, the veil between dimensions thins, allowing synchronistic communications to flow more freely. Many people report dramatic increases in meaningful coincidences during Kundalini awakenings, meditation breakthroughs, or after profound mystical experiences. These synchronistic clusters serve multiple purposes during awakening, confirming the reality of expanded states, providing guidance for integration, and demonstrating the responsive nature of reality to newly awakened consciousness. They help stabilize awareness in higher frequencies by providing tangible evidence of spiritual principles operating in everyday life. Harnessing synchronicity requires developing trust in universal timing, surrendering attachment to how and when guidance should appear. The logical mind demands immediate, comprehensive answers delivered through expected channels. Synchronistic guidance rarely works this way, often unfolding through unexpected sources, mysterious timing, and symbolic communications requiring interpretation. This process challenges control-oriented thinking, teaching surrender to a wisdom greater than intellectual understanding. Paradoxically, this surrender activates rather than diminishes personal power, aligning individual consciousness with universal intelligence. Through this alignment, you become an active co-creator with the universe, rather than a passive recipient of random circumstances or victim of predetermined fate. The relationship between synchronicity and manifestation reveals how these phenomena represent different aspects of the same underlying process. Manifestation describes the conscious creation of desired experiences through focused intention, elevated emotion, and aligned action. Synchronicities often appear as feedback mechanisms during manifestation, confirming alignment with desired outcomes or suggesting course corrections when necessary. They serve as signposts indicating whether your energetic broadcast matches your conscious intentions. When synchronicities consistently support your manifestation goals, this suggests internal congruence. Your conscious desires align with deeper values and beliefs. Contradictory synchronicities often reveal subconscious resistance or misalignment, requiring attention before successful manifestation becomes possible. Dreams provide especially fertile ground for synchronistic phenomena, creating bridges between conscious questions and deeper wisdom sources. Many people report dreaming about situations, conversations, or symbols that subsequently manifest in waking life. These dream precognitions demonstrate consciousness transcending conventional boundaries of time and space. Dreams bypass the logical filters dominating waking awareness, allowing synchronistic information to flow more freely. Paying attention to dream content, particularly recurring symbols or emotionally charged images, often reveals synchronistic connections with waking events. These connections suggest consciousness operates beyond the physical brain, accessing non-local information through channels transcending ordinary sensory perception. Collective synchronicities affect groups of people simultaneously, creating shared meaningful experiences that transcend individual perception. These group phenomena often emerge during periods of cultural transformation, spiritual gatherings, or creative collaborations. Participants report identical synchronistic patterns appearing independently in their lives, suggesting an organizing intelligence working through multiple individuals toward shared purpose. These collective experiences challenge the notion of synchronicity as purely subjective, demonstrating patterns that maintain consistency across different observers. They suggest consciousness functions through both individual and collective dimensions, with synchronicities sometimes serving evolutionary purposes extending beyond personal growth to include cultural and planetary development. The shadow side of synchronicity involves misinterpretation, magical thinking, and spiritual bypassing. Without proper discernment, the search for meaningful patterns can deteriorate into superstition, seeing significance in genuinely random events while ignoring practical realities. Some spiritual seekers become obsessed with synchronistic signs, using them to avoid difficult decisions or justify problematic choices. Others develop dependency, refusing to act without perfect synchronistic confirmation. These distortions stem from misunderstanding synchronicity's purpose. It exists to enhance discernment and creativity rather than replace personal responsibility or critical thinking. Healthy engagement with synchronicity maintains balance between openness to guidance and grounded practical judgment. Developing synchronistic awareness fundamentally transforms your relationship with reality itself. Rather than experiencing life as a series of random events or predetermined circumstances, you recognize yourself as an active participant in a responsive, intelligent universe. This shift dissolves the artificial boundary between inner and outer experience, revealing how consciousness and material reality exist in continuous creative dialogue. You begin perceiving life less as something happening to you and more as something happening with you, a collaborative process between individual awareness and universal intelligence. This participatory understanding restores the sense of meaning and purpose frequently lost in purely materialistic worldviews, reconnecting human experience with cosmic significance. The scientific understanding of synchronicity continues evolving as researchers explore phenomena challenging conventional boundaries between mind and matter. Studies in quantum biology reveal how living systems utilize quantum effects previously thought impossible in warm, wet biological environments. Research into presentiment demonstrates that human physiology often reacts to future stimuli seconds before conscious perception. Global consciousness projects document correlations between collective human emotional states and physical measuring devices during major world events. These emerging fields suggest scientific frameworks potentially capable of explaining synchronistic phenomena without reducing their meaning to mechanical processes. They point toward a new paradigm integrating objective measurement with subjective experience, transcending the false dichotomy between science and spirituality. Indigenous cultures worldwide maintain sophisticated systems for working with synchronicity, offering valuable wisdom largely absent from modern approaches. Many tribal traditions teach that synchronistic communications flow constantly between humans, natural forces, ancestors, and spirit beings. These cultures develop detailed protocols for interpreting animal encounters, weather patterns, dreams, and bodily sensations as meaningful guidance. Their approaches typically emphasize relationship and reciprocity rather than control. Understanding that synchronistic wisdom emerges through respectful dialogue with the living world rather than manipulation of passive forces. These indigenous perspectives offer crucial balance to contemporary spiritual approaches, sometimes emphasizing manifestation techniques without corresponding emphasis on relationship, gratitude, and ecological awareness. Children naturally perceive synchronistic connections before cultural conditioning dims this awareness. Young children frequently report meaningful coincidences, communicate with invisible presences, and recognize patterns adults have learned to ignore. Their fluid boundaries between imagination and perception create receptivity to synchronistic phenomena. Many adults recall childhood experiences of meaningful connection with animals, plants, or natural forces. Experiences dismissed by adults as imagination, yet carrying profound significance that shaped their developing worldview. This natural childhood affinity for synchronistic perception suggests it represents an innate human capacity rather than learned superstition. Reclaiming this childlike perceptual openness while maintaining adult discernment creates optimal conditions for synchronistic awareness. Throughout this exploration of synchronicity, we've uncovered a profound truth. Reality communicates with you through a sophisticated language of meaningful coincidences, offering guidance, confirmation, and course correction for your journey. These synchronistic patterns, whether appearing as repeating numbers, timely encounters, symbolic dreams, or remarkable coincidences, reveal an intelligent universe responding to your consciousness. Far from random events, synchronicities demonstrate reality functioning as a responsive field, intimately connected with your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. They provide experiential evidence supporting what ancient wisdom traditions have always taught. Consciousness shapes reality through resonance rather than mechanical causality. We began by examining how cultural conditioning systematically disconnects most people from synchronistic awareness. From childhood onward, educational systems, scientific materialism, and social norms train us to dismiss meaningful coincidences as imagination, superstition, or statistical inevitability. This conditioning serves a purpose, maintaining the illusion of separation between consciousness and reality, between observer and observed. Yet quantum physics has thoroughly dismantled this mechanistic worldview, revealing reality as fundamentally participatory. The observer affects the observed at the most fundamental levels of existence. Synchronicities make this participatory relationship visible in everyday experience, showing how consciousness influences manifestation through resonance with matching vibrational frequencies. The diverse forms of synchronicity we've explored, numerical patterns, animal messengers, dream precognitions, meaningful encounters, technological anomalies, bodily sensations, demonstrate how universal intelligence customizes its communications to penetrate your particular perceptual filters. The universe speaks through channels holding emotional or symbolic significance specifically for you, using a personalized language constructed from elements of your individual experience. This customization explains why synchronistic guidance often arrives through unexpected sources yet resonates deeply with your unique consciousness. The universe crafts its messages using symbols that bypass your logical defenses, delivering wisdom directly to intuitive understanding. We've discovered that synchronicities increase dramatically during periods of spiritual awakening, major life transitions, or when facing important decisions. These threshold experiences create openings between ordinary awareness and deeper dimensions of consciousness, allowing synchronistic communications to flow more abundantly. During such periods, the universe often provides guidance through multiple synchronistic channels simultaneously, creating confirmatory patterns that build confidence in the guidance received. These synchronistic clusters help navigate complex life choices when logical analysis alone proves insufficient, offering direction aligned with your highest evolution rather than limited ego preferences. The practical techniques we've explored transform synchronicity from fascinating phenomenon into powerful navigational tool. Clear intention combined with elevated emotional states creates optimal conditions for synchronistic guidance. Meditation quiets mental chatter that would otherwise filter out subtle patterns. Journaling documents synchronistic clusters, revealing broader patterns developing over time. Cultivating trust in universal timing allows guidance to unfold organically rather than demanding immediate answers through predetermined channels. These practices develop synchronistic fluency, the ability to receive, interpret, and apply meaningful coincidences as practical wisdom for life navigation. The relationship between synchronicity and manifestation reveals these phenomena as complementary aspects of the same creative process. Manifestation harnesses consciousness to shape experience through focused intention, while synchronicities provide feedback about alignment with desired outcomes. They reveal whether your energetic broadcast matches your conscious intentions or exposes subconscious resistance requiring attention. This feedback mechanism transforms manifestation from mechanical technique into dynamic dialogue with universal intelligence. Rather than imposing will upon passive matter, true manifestation involves collaborative creation between individual consciousness and responsive universe. The scientific frontiers we've examined, quantum biology, presentiment research, global consciousness studies, suggest emerging frameworks potentially capable of explaining synchronistic phenomena without reducing their meaning to mechanical processes. These fields explore the boundaries between mind and matter, subjective experience and objective measurement, individual consciousness and collective fields. They point toward a new paradigm integrating scientific rigor with spiritual wisdom, transcending the false dichotomy between empirical observation and meaningful interpretation. This integrated approach honors both the measurable patterns synchronicity creates in physical reality and the subjective meaning these patterns carry for human experience. Indigenous wisdom traditions offer crucial balance to contemporary approaches by emphasizing relationship and reciprocity in synchronistic awareness. These traditions teach that meaningful coincidences emerge through respectful dialogue with a living, conscious world, rather than manipulation of passive forces. They understand synchronicity as communication between relatives, humans, animals, plants, ancestors, spirit beings, all participating in a shared field of intelligence. This relational perspective prevents the distortions sometimes arising in modern spiritual approaches, using synchronicity for ego gratification, spiritual bypassing, or materialistic gain rather than deepening connection with the web of life. The transformative power of synchronicity extends beyond practical guidance to fundamental shifts in worldview. Developing synchronistic awareness dissolves the artificial boundary between inner and outer experience, revealing consciousness and material reality in continuous creative dialogue. You begin experiencing life as collaborative process rather than random circumstance or predetermined fate. This participatory understanding restores meaning and purpose frequently lost in materialistic worldviews, reconnecting human experience with cosmic significance. Through synchronistic awareness, you reclaim your birthright as conscious co-creator with the universe, rather than passive observer or victim of circumstance. Your journey with synchronicity begins with a simple choice. Will you dismiss meaningful coincidences as random events, or will you recognize them as communications from an intelligent universe? Will you remain trapped in conditioned perception? Or will you reclaim your natural ability to perceive the patterns connecting all things? The universe already speaks your language through the precise symbols, encounters, and coincidences appearing in your life. These synchronistic communications offer guidance perfectly tailored to your unique journey, available whenever you choose to listen. By developing synchronistic awareness, you activate a powerful navigational system transcending logical limitations, allowing universal wisdom to flow through the specific circumstances of your life, guiding you toward your highest evolution and most authentic expression. The practice begins now. Notice the meaningful coincidences appearing in your experience today. What numbers repeatedly catch your attention? Which animal crosses your path in unusual ways? What song lyrics speak directly to your current situation? What dreams connect symbolically with waking events? Document these synchronistic patterns without forcing interpretation, allowing their meaning to emerge organically. Set clear intentions for guidance about important questions, remaining open to answers arriving through unexpected channels. Trust the distinctive feeling accompanying genuine synchronicities, that intuitive recognition, energetic resonance, or sense of expanded awareness, signaling authentic communication from universal intelligence. Through consistent practice, synchronicity transforms from occasional curiosity into reliable guidance system, revealing the invisible threads connecting your consciousness with the intelligent universe continuously responding to your presence.